The lady from Uncle. International affair. The lady.
Hi, today I want to look at copyright on YouTube. Now, it's a topic that I've covered many times before, and I think it's about time that I revisited it. So first of all, what is copyright? Copyright, taken from the Wikipedia, by definition is a legal concept, and it is pretty universal, and it creates the creator of the original work, of the creation, the right to determine how it's used, who by and in what form. And this is usually limited to your lifetime and anything from 50 to 100 years, depending on what country you're in. It also is something that relates very heavily to YouTube, in the sense that YouTube exists because of copyrighted works. Videos are among the things that can be copyrighted, along with things like photographs that you might have taken. Now, coincidentally, in this photograph, the work shown is copyrighted to me, and the photograph itself is copyrighted to me as well. I took the photo of my copyrighted work, so I hold two copyrights in this image. I own the original copyrights of the objects that I photographed, and obviously of the photograph itself. And in the case of graphics, I own the rights to the graphic. I also own the rights to this particular video. What I don't own is the rights to the performance, which is held by Bridget. And I also don't own the rights to the original lyrics because it's Robert Burns, and I don't own the rights to the recording of Bridget's performance. That is the audio recording, and that is owned by her producer. And now that we've looked at what exactly copyright is, let's look at how copyright works on YouTube. Very basically, if you click the upload button, you will be asked to acknowledge that you agree to the YouTube's terms of service and the community guidelines, with the terms of service being the more legal side of things, and the community guidelines dealing more with your social mores and what is accepted behavior. And then, of course, it asks you to be sure not to violate other copyright and privacy rights. And the Learn More link, which is incredibly important, is at the bottom there as well. And as you can see, it has video and various bits of information, of which, to me, the most important thing to note is that there is information for rights owners who feel that their work has been infringed on YouTube, and also those who have uploaded videos which is perhaps being claimed by rights owners or alleged rights owners. I ask that you seriously consider watching this rather cutesy video, which can do a far better job than I possibly ever could in explaining very basic copyright law. Let's look at the two types of individuals that would be affected by copyright law on YouTube. The first ones are obviously the rights owners, and if you find somebody has uploaded your videos to YouTube, you might wish to contact them in the first instance and ask them to remove the video, which is certainly what I would do. And in the second instance, if that doesn't work, contact YouTube and ask them to do it for you. YouTube, by law, must comply with your request. They will not, therefore, be deemed to have considered you to be the rights owner, because they do not judge whether you are or not, but they must comply in the eventuality that you are the rights owner and that you have legal rights, which is what you're legally stating you do. On the other hand, you might actually be the uploader yourself, and you might have somebody claiming that you are infringing their rights. Question is, are you or aren't you? Do you have their permission to upload their content? Is it perhaps not their content at all? Is it your content? The important thing to remember is that because copyright is a legal concept and it is a legal right, the ultimate means of dealing with it is very likely to be the legal route. And that is because copyright predates the internet by some couple of hundred years at least, and therefore is something that has commonly, and for far longer than the internet has existed, been dealt with by a court of law. And even somebody like me who owns hundreds of digital copyrights, and I have actually defended a few on YouTube itself, I also own far more which are not digital and which I have had to defend or have wanted to defend in the real world in my working life. So it is important to also remember that YouTube cannot and will not get involved on something that ultimately is a commercial concept. Because copyright exists to protect the commercial rights, the ability to earn commercially from that which you create, this is something you need to evaluate whether or not you have the wherewithal, the financial wherewithal, to protect your copyright or to protect yourself against copyright infringement notices such as can be served on you at YouTube. So the argument that I can't afford to hire an IP lawyer to protect me against somebody who is stealing my rights at YouTube can't stand, because that's not YouTube's problem. I know it sounds really harsh, because in the converse, if somebody wants to use something, for example, a piece of music by the artist formerly known as Prince, if that person wants to use that music for their video, then they have got to go and pay the price, just like everybody else would have to. They can't claim, oh, well, I'm not going to bother getting permission because I can't afford permission. That's not how the real world works. Copyright law exists for a reason, for better or for worse. Yes, it has to change. Yes, it has to adapt for the digital age. But as long as it is what it is, this is the score. Your best bet really is to look at the resources available to you at YouTube for use on YouTube. So you can do an awful lot worse than reading this stuff. I'm going to add a couple of other links that I think are pertinent to the subject at the bottom, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.